Hey, welcome back to the Future of Fitness podcast. I'm your host, Eric Malzone, and this is episode number 34. And I have the extreme pleasure of talking to Theresa Smith. She is the CEO, COO, and founder of 4Time Design. And she designs websites specifically for the fitness industry. And she does an amazing job of it. And she, in full disclosure, she actually did our website, and we work with her for a lot of clients, refer to a lot of people. So that's obviously says how much we think of her. So there's a couple things that you can control with your digital presence. One of which being your website, the other one being your search engine optimization. And there's a few other things too, but those are the big ones. And they kind of tie in hand to hand. Now, here's the great thing about Theresa and some of the topics that we'll cover in this is what's the biggest mistake that most fitness professionals make when designing their website? How to design quality landing pages and what a landing page actually is. I bet a lot of people out there don't know, and why you need them for your digital marketing. Pixels, Facebook pixels, what exactly those are and how to set them up. I think there's a lot of confusion around that topic. And lead capture for your website and updating plugins, all kinds of stuff. So before I lose you in this intro, this is really, really important. You need to listen to this as a fitness professional. I know a lot of people don't like to do their websites, don't like to pay attention to them, but this is your digital storefront. This is where people go. So tune in, maybe listen to this twice because there's a lot of great input on here. And then if you want to reach out to Theresa, we highly suggest you do. So let's get on to it. Episode number 34 with Theresa Smith of 4Time Design. Hey everybody, welcome back. This is Eric Malzone with the Future of Fitness podcast. And I have on today's episode, I have Theresa Smith with 4Time Design. She does websites design. Welcome on the show.
Thanks. I appreciate it.
So I will give you a little bit of a plug up here up front and say that, you've done our website, you've done a number of our clients' websites and my friends too. So we've always been extremely happy. It's a win-win for us because doing what we do on the agency side, it's always nice working with a clean website that makes our jobs a lot easier. So
yeah.
Thank you for everything you do up front.
For sure.
So give us a little history on 4Time Design and because I know you have a fitness background as well. Run us through quickly, what that story is.
Yeah. So I owned a gym here I live in Idaho and just across the border in Oregon. I owned a gym there, Race Bar CrossFit. And I've been doing website design for about 13 years in a variety of different jobs and as a freelancer, and had always done it on the side and sometimes full-time, sometimes part-time. So I opened up my gym and was doing websites off and on for different people, different businesses, and was a member of Two Brain Business with Chris Cooper. I was a mentoring client with him. And then over time, he started asking me questions about websites. And he said, we might be looking for somebody that we can maybe refer people to for websites. Would you be interested? I said, sure. And little did I know there was still a really big need in that space to fill. So he started referring some clients to me. Some of my clients were referring people to me, and over time it grew to the point at which my gym sort of started taking a back seat. And so I had to sort of step up and decide which one I really wanted to do. And the really cool thing is I'm passionate about fitness. And so it was a really great way to combine my love of fitness and my love of technology and website design and things like that.
Oh, that's
so
great.
Doing it full time now.
That's good. And I know you're always really busy too. So it's always really good to see that. And I appreciate you coming, taking the time to do this.
Sure.
So, with fitness professionals and the niche you found yourself in, and what do you, when people come in, like describe the before and after, right? When someone comes to you, what's the general case, and then how does that evolve? How does that process work with you? And then what's the end product?
Okay, so I see kind of two different paths. It's either people come to me with what I call a Band-Aid site, and it's sort of like, they've thrown things up and then patched up here and there. It's a really old site with a lot of old content, and it doesn't even have a cohesive design. and it doesn't have a cohesive path through the website. The other thing the other way that I have people come to me is that they come to me and they have a website, but they don't know what it's supposed to do. It doesn't have calls to action. It doesn't guide people through what they need to do to get into the business, to get into your business and know what to do. So my primary goal whenever I design a website is it's always about the calls to action. So you really want to give people a clear call of what they need to do whenever they come to you. You don't want people guessing. So how do I get in touch with them? What's the next step? What do I do if I'm interested in this product or this service? So my primary goal is always that. That actually comes before the design. And I've talked about this to a lot of people. You can have an ugly website that's super effective. You can have a really pretty website that does absolutely no good. My goal is always to kind of combine the two, make a beautiful website that attracts clients and sort of shows who you are, but also still does the job really, really well.
Oh, that's great. Yeah, it's, we were jabbing about this right before because we started this recording that, there's so many things that you can do now in the digital world, right? That's where we come into the space, and everyone's fascinated with Facebook advertising, and it's powerful. It's great. Highly targetable. Google AdWords or other more dynamic marketing plays, but there's only certain things that you can control, right? And as a business owner, most of us are control freaks. So,
sure.
A website being one of them, because that is one thing that you own, right? And the other thing is your email list and how you market to that.
Yeah, absolutely.
How in your mind, like how obviously the website's important, but where do you think people rely on it too much times, or what's your take on that?
Yeah, I do. I think that the website is the tool to get people in your doors. One of many tools actually to get people in your doors. It could be through your Facebook marketing. But I think I often get people that come to me and say, I'm still not getting people through my doors, even with a great website. And I tell them, it's about relationships. You have to be using things like communicating with people through your blogs, talking to your clients through social media. You need to actually be communicating with people. And when they walk in the door, you have to convey that friendliness and that, sort of social atmosphere that's going to get people coming in and staying. So I think that sometimes people expect a website to do everything, to be them, and there's only so much that it can do in terms of that. So while it can be a tool to get people in your doors, you got to take it from there, and you also have to be putting your voice to that website through your blog and through your podcasts and things like that.
Awesome. What do you think? What's the biggest mistake that most fitness professionals make when it comes to their website?
Probably the people that they put on their website, unless they're trying to attract a super, super fit individual. That shouldn't be all you have on your website. You should show people that when they walk through your doors, that they're not going to be scared off by people who look like they've been working out for their entire lives. Most fitness professionals are not trying to attract high-level athletes or high-level competitors, bodybuilders, anything like that. They're trying to attract, the moms who just had a baby and are trying to get fit. They're trying to attract, men who maybe are looking to come back to their glory days from their athletic years. They're not trying to attract those high-level athletes. So why would you put that all over your website? I think it's relevant if it's maybe a before-after. But also, I can tell you as a former couch potato, I would be a little scared even with the before after, like, holy moly, I'm going to have to really work hard to look like that after. I wonder if everybody gets to that point. And I'm just like, I just want to be fit. I don't need to look like I'm a high level athlete. So I think that it's the realness of it. So
yeah, that's a great point. And I think consistency of message, right, is a big part of it too. Any business mentor or any business that's successful really knows who their ideal client is. And then the consistency of that message from the very first second that they find you, or even when they just search, right, of what that header tag says or whatever it is, there has to be consistency throughout.
Right.
And, if you're talking to general population clientele, and then they go to your website and there's skulls and crossbones and and just these really hardcore images, and they're going to leave like that.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. The first gym I ever walked into, their website was like that. It literally took me about 6 months to get the courage to walk through those doors.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
It's great. I noticed a lot of themes too with yours is, very much portraying the happiness or the feeling that goes behind what the gym is all about. I think that's a great point, and that's really what truly attracts people to the site. Tell me about how you put together your business model. Like is it one-time fee? Is it a membership fee? How does it work?
So at the beginning, it was just to design a website, hand it off to the client. But one of the things that was a constant thing that I recognized is that businesses always evolve. And so there's always need for new marketing landing pages and things that people can use in their marketing efforts. Or maybe they, want to update their website as a new clientele comes in or they grow or whatever. So I decided that a subscription model actually worked a little bit better. So, and the other thing is there's not a huge upfront cost. You're not coming and throwing thousands of dollars at this website and not knowing if it's going to work or not. So, we came up with a monthly subscription model to where people pay a startup fee that covers, premium plugins and things like that. And then a monthly fee that kind of pays down that design, but also gets them an hour or plus even more time than that if they want it on top of that, so that every month they can come back to me. So they get an hour every month to come back to me and say, hey, can you build up this landing page? Can you change out these pictures? Can you help me pretty up my blog? Things like that. So they have that option to come back. And the one thing I've noticed is that the people that really use it, they consistently tell me they get more people through the door than just a website that was built 2 years ago and just sits there static.
Yeah. Oh, that's awesome. So landing pages, let's tell people, a lot of people may not even know what that is. What is a landing page and what makes a good one?
Sure. So a landing page is essentially something that you might use to draw attention to a specific program, like if you're starting a boot camp or something like that. So it would be a place where you could use in your marketing efforts and social media, and people could land on that page to get information about it. And it's going to tell them everything that they need to know about that program. The reason landing pages are important is if somebody just lands on your website and they see that you offer 10 different things, they may never get to that one thing that speaks to them. But if you're really targeting a specific audience with that landing page, boot camp, maybe females who are not looking to work out with barbells and things like that, you can really hone that message in and just target that one thing. And a lot of times we'll even take off the headers and the footers of the page so that it's only about that one program and they're not overwhelmed with the message of the whole website.
Yeah, and that's smart. And to really hone in on why that's important too is all of your marketing or any kind of messaging that you're doing, whatever program, it's going to be unique to whoever that is, right? The mother who just had a kid and wants to get back in shape is going to be much different than even me, a 41-year-old male. It's just different. And getting people, and once again, that consistency of message, getting them through to the landing page and then getting them all of the appropriate information and nothing more.
Right. Yep. Really absolutely.
Important. So I think having someone like you in their corner where it's like you've done that, how to build a landing page, because if you're a fitness pro and you're trying to manage your website and you're going to try to build out your first landing page, it's going to take you forever.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know.
It sure will.
It's going to take you a while. So, I mean, when you develop someone's website, do they own that website after?
So with the subscription model, they don't own the design until they've paid it down. The reason for that is what happens is, if somebody came and they built a website and a month later they leave, they don't get to take that with them because, but they do own always their domain name and they can always buy out the design. So I have very clear terms on that on my website, as well as most design professionals too do. But they do own the design in as much as that they can take it with them anywhere they go. And after they paid it off or paid it down or paid the one-time fee, then yes, they own that 100%. And they can take that with them forever and ever. But the domain name remains theirs always. That's
extremely fair, I think. And I think that's that's a really great value, because I can tell you, just from experience, so many times, and this is why this is important, listeners, is that, once you own your website, you'll develop and create a beautiful one. And then, as soon as it's paid off, it's yours. I've seen too many times where we're trying to work with clients and they're essentially being held hostage by the company that did that.
I don't believe in that at all. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yep.
it really irks me.
Yeah.
Because then they have this, something like, well, then they're stuck without a website, and then what?
Sure.
Right?
Yeah,
Things get shut
absolutely.
down. So what's new? What's the stuff that you're updating people with, or what are you educating yourself on with website development? What's the next thing that because this is the Future of Fitness podcast, right? What do you see coming up next?
As far as website design and technology goes, I see really specialists coming into the field that it's sort of like you and myself. A lot of times I'll get people who come to me and want me to do SEO and Facebook marketing and everything under the sun. And I say, look, I feel like I do one thing really, really well, and that's design and communicate your message. But there are so many great professionals out there who can really hone in on your SEO or your marketing, or even copywriting. If you really want some brilliant copywriting, there are amazing copywriters out there. So I think that that's really where it's going.
Yeah, I like that message too, and I think it's
Eric. I think I've lost you.
Oh, you're back.
There we go.
Yeah. I think that's a great message and a great thing to be coming on, because it's really important people stay in their lane, right? Like our company, we could do website design, but we'd rather refer out to someone like yourself who this is what they do all day, right? You're very much a specialist in what they do. And I think because once you take a deep dive in anything digital, whether it be websites, whether it be SEO or whatever it is, it's like the Dunning-Kruger effect. At first you're like, oh, I can do everything, right? I know a little bit. So I
started off there. Yeah, I can do it all.
This is like my 20th time I've been in that scenario myself. So, but you start to learn a little bit, you get a little, enough to be dangerous, quote unquote, right? But you can really actually do some harm to clients if you're playing in that field and you're not taking a deep dive. So I would, I think it's a great point is if you are looking for whatever help it is in the digital, because coaches want to coach, right? They don't want to do a website, they want to coach. That's
right.
And that's what people like you and me want them to be doing more of. That's cool. What else is up and coming in the world of websites? Is there any, things that you're now adding into websites that you're doing?
Yeah, so I'm really getting excited about surveys and forms and collections through lead capture forms and things like that. That really is helping give people information. I think the Facebook Pixel is working really well for people to give them information so that they know more about what to do on their website and their landing pages. And if they're using it appropriately, then they can communicate that to me so that I can help them out with that. There's plugins are growing like crazy, like plugins that do amazing things on websites. And actually, as much as I think that it's okay if people use things like Squarespace and Wix, the plugins that are being developed, the majority of them are being developed for WordPress. And so those tools are more available. I think that over time it will grow into the Squarespace and Wix platform a little bit more. But I think that really there's just so much technology rolling out the door all the time. Usually if somebody comes to me and says, hey, can we do this? I can go and look and there's a plugin for it. We can make it happen. So I think it's pretty cool, all the things that the data they can track and, the things that they can accomplish with their website.
Awesome. Can you give us an explanation of what a pixel is? I think there's still a lot of confusion with people on what that is.
It's kind of, it's hard to explain, but it's a communication tool between your website and how people get there, and that communicates with Facebook. And you could probably explain this a little bit better than me. Where people are going, how they're converting, where they're landing when they get to your website, what they're clicking on, and all of that goes back to Facebook and communicates with Facebook, what audience is actually clicking on that. And you can really start to refine those messages and refine that audience that it's going to through this Facebook Pixel. It does take some time to learn. And I actually recommend that even everybody should understand it at a basic level just so they can see what it's doing. But it's just amazing how clearly you can hone your message in to your audience, to a specific audience with the use of that tool.
Yeah, it's the first time I caught wind of it, I was blown away. I actually felt a little, I felt vulnerable, right? Because you're like, oh my God, I'm being pixeled. So People listen, it's a tracking tool that you put a snippet of code on your website on particular pages that you want to track, and you can see the conversions as far as like who's going to the site. If you're doing a landing page, you can see who's going to your landing page and then who's going to a thank you page, which means that they're converting to either an appointment or something like that. On top of that, you can also do retargeting. So once you have that, you can start retargeting these people again. If maybe, and the way we always explain it is, someone may go to like your contact us form and then their baby starts crying, right?
Right.
They're like, oh God.
Exactly.
Now you can bring it back. You can actually retarget them through AdWords and Facebook. So that's a really important piece. I think if you haven't done that yet, contact Theresa and she can dial it up for you. Well, that's great. What if people want to get a hold of you, they want to test out your services or they want to get a quote or something like that, how do they do that?
So they're going to go to For-Time Design. That's FOR Time Design. It's like a workout for time. Design.com.
Oh, that's why.
And then, that's where it comes from. Apparently, I should have thought that through a little bit more because everybody wants to do FOUR, but it's FOR Time Design. And there's a link on there to schedule a call. I always do recommend that we always start with a call. It's a lot easier than going back and forth via email. And we can just discuss sort of your needs. I always start the call off with, tell me what's working for you on your website, what's not working for you, what are your priorities, who are you trying to get through the door? And so usually we start with that call, and then from there, deciding if they want to book, I give them time to think about it, and then we go from there. And then after that, we start with a homepage design and an internal page design. I always tell people they are not committed at that point. They get to see their entire website before, they're committed at any level financially. So we build out the whole site on a development site. Once they say they love it, we launch it. And that's sort of how the whole process works.
That's great. And I love how it's, it's just so upfront and honest and you work with the clients. That the service is great. So, that was excellent. I hope, please look her up, guys. If you're, even if you just have questions about if your website's working for you or not, or if it's, appropriate to what you're trying to accomplish, get with Theresa because she does great work. So Theresa, thank you for your time.
Thanks.
And I know you and I will be talking quite a bit. So
absolutely.
This isn't goodbye.
Okay. All right. Thanks.
Hey, fitness fans, don't leave yet. This is Eric Malzone, your host, and I have an extremely special offer just for you. If you go to fitnessmarketingalliance.com/assessment, you can claim your complimentary digital marketing audit. Are you a modern fitness professional? Do you have some sort of online presence? Do you have a sneaking suspicion that your website is not performing optimally and therefore costing you money? Well, this is how you start to find out all the details. Just like fitness, you need to start with an honest and objective assessment. So go to fitnessmarketingalliance.com/assessment, fill out the form, and we will have it to you within 72 hours. It will cover your overall site performance, rank from 0 to 100, how you rank for your chosen keywords, so that's search engine optimization, your website traffic history over the last 6 months, so the ebbs and flows and what worked, what didn't, your website speed, which is highly relevant for people coming to your website and then bouncing off because it's working too slow, your social media presence, competitive analysis, and much, much more. So this is just the tip of the iceberg, but this is the starting point for building your online business. So please take advantage of it. We're offering it because we feel it's deeply important to you and the industry overall. And you can claim it by going to fitnessmarketingalliance.com/assessment. Do it today. Do it right now. Don't hesitate. This offer won't last forever. So thank you for listening. Greatly appreciate it. If you ever need to reach me, hit me up, Eric at fitnessmarketingalliance.com. And I'll be talking to you very, very soon.